veteran who is someone who has fought for our country.
Someone that fought in war or just someone that fought for our country.
Hello, and I'm Bree Gable with CCN to bring a story to you. Some people might think of the Army as what it is in the movies, but U.S. Army veteran Alvin Victor Cruz tells us differently.
There's a lot of career fields in the Army. What you guys see in the movies, like of soldiers, where they just kind of like shoot people and like go to war. Like that's not necessarily what being in the military is. And we have doctors and lawyers and veterinarians, and I fixed medical equipment in the military, and I was a physician's assistant, EMT. So there's a lot of things you can do, in the military. So I think it's a good career choice.
U.S. Navy veteran Bob Giffen explains to us some traditions of the Navy and how it's not serious all the time.
In the Navy, we have this time-honored tradition that's been in existence since the Navy was established in 1775. It's called the shellback ceremony. And you're either one of two things in the Navy. You're either a polywog, which is a sailor that hasn't crossed the equator, or you're a shellback. You're a person who's been through the ceremony and has crossed the equator. So in 1973, my ship crossed the equator in the Pacific Ocean. And at 7:30 at night, the shellbacks, who are all the guys who's crossed the equator, raised the Jolly Roger. The black flag with the skull and the crossbones. They raised it up on the ship's mast, and then they took and hid it. And the game was that we had to find it, the polywogs. And when we found it, we could make the shellbacks, and they had to cooperate, do anything we wanted them to do. If we wanted them to kiss our feet and our dirty toes, they had to do that. If we wanted them to crawl along on the deck of the ship and oink like a pig, they had to do that. If we wanted them to eat some nasty-looking piece of sausage that had been spoiled for 3 days, they had to do that. They had to cooperate. But at midnight, all that stopped and the shellbacks were in charge of the ship. So they let us go to bed, and at 5:30 they woke us up.
U.S. Army veteran John Corbett and U.S. Navy veteran Bob Giffen tell us why joining the Army is a good option.
I know you're a long ways away from considering what you might do later in life. But if you're considering going into the military, I would absolutely say do it. It's a great opportunity. It provides you with a lot of experiences that you wouldn't normally have the chance to do or take advantage of.
When your recruiters come, when you're a junior or senior over at the high school, take a moment to talk to them. You've probably got dreams and ideas, even in 7th grade, of what you might want to do in life. But make sure you don't overlook an opportunity to serve in the military. Every job that you can do in private life is available to you in the military. Every job. And there are some jobs in the military that are available to you that are not available in the private life. You'll gain some great experience. You'll make some of the best friends you've ever made in life. It'll help pay for your education later if you're not ready to go to school yet. And it'll be a great time for you to mature and find your way. So don't overlook the military.
Time for an EMS student to say our last few words. Thank you for being a part of helping us. This is Bree Gable signing off from CCN.